buddy. What's up to Lion Talk Live? We love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew? This is Ball Hawk Ifeatu Melifonwu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today on 96.1, the smooth sounds of Lions Talk Live. Hey, we're going to power through today's episode, get it all over to you, but as you can tell from the thumbnail for today's video, you know what? I think the Detroit Lions and their coaching staff might have been playing a little bit of possum with the Green Bay Packers and their coaching staff. So we're going to dive into all that today. Also, we're going to get through 5 headlines now and have our special guest at the bottom of the hour. So if you, real quick, before we get things going, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are roughly 80 subs away from hitting 11,600. So if you could help out with that, that would be great. Also, if you would be so kind, reach on down. It is free of charge, and hit that like button, the thumbs up button, whatever you want to call it button. And yes, I have a bit of a head cold. All right, so let's go ahead and get this one going. I'm not going to waste all day with it. One last thing, though, real quick before we move on. If you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, you can give me a call or shoot me a text. If you're outside Michigan, you can still contact me. Just got to do a few things a little bit differently. You can reach me at 269-998-2384. I kind of like my new voice. Anyways, yeah, if you're looking to, for somebody who, I've been in the industry of real estate for over 30 years. So if you want somebody who's going to work on your behalf, try to save you some money, make the process easier, then, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. All right, let's move on from that and get to the first segment of the day. And as you probably know, it is 5 headlines now. All right, let's get into it. 5 headlines now coming at you. And let's see. Week 14, Monday, injury report, story by Christian Bohr of SI.com, Sports Illustrated, if you would please. And yes, as you could probably know, if you didn't know, I'm going to give you an update. Josh Pascal did not practice yesterday. He's still dealing with that knee injury. My anticipation, both him and Levi Onwuzurike will not be a go this week. Onwuzurike, not a knee injury, but he is dealing with a hamstring injury. Taylor Decker also did not practice yesterday with his knee injury. I'm going to say right now, I don't think he goes this week. We'll see if I end up being correct or not, but my anticipation is he's not going to play Thursday. DJ Reader, who's been playing, like one of the better defensive tackles in all of football in the last month, he's did not go yesterday with a shoulder injury. Carlton Davis was out there with his knee situation on a limited practice. I think there's a strong possibility he gives it a go Thursday. I mean, if you're a Lions fan, you're a Lions player, Lions coach, you understand this is a big game for for both teams. The Lions win Thursday. I think they've got a commanding opportunity to win the North for the second straight year. I think it's going to make it real tough for anybody else to come on down and win the North. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. Obviously, it's mathematically still possible, but you go 4-0 in the division with, was it one more game at home to end the regular season? And then one game in Chicago. And Chicago obviously going through some changes right now. You're in pretty good situation. The last of the injury report for the Detroit Lions yesterday were Emmanuel Mosley with he was a full participant yesterday with a hamstring injury. So I'm guessing what happened in pregame warmups is he tweaked his hamstring. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. Obviously he was out there full participant yesterday. All right, moving on to the next topic in the 5 headlines now. Terrion Arnold and Jameson Williams want to return punts for the Lions. Will it ever happen? ? Detroit Free Press on this one. And I'll just throw in my 2 cents here. I think there's some possibility, especially with Arnold, that he could get out there and give it a go. Will the Lions allow him to do it? that's a different question, I guess you'd have altogether. I just think with the Lions situation out there, carrying one spot on a team just for a punt or kickoff return person, that just doesn't make good business sense, in my opinion. So could the Lions maybe shave off a spot, use it on a position that needs a little bit more attention, same like the defensive line, etc.? That might be something out there. But if I had to guess between Jameson Williams and Arnold, who you're putting out there, man, I don't know. I might lean towards Arnold, but then again, man, Arnold has been playing pretty dang well, in my opinion, on the team for in recent weeks. So would I want to get him out there and risk him to injury? I'm probably going to go with no on that, but is it possible? We'll see. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Freshly signed Jamal Adams working with Lions linebackers in his first practice in Detroit. Story by Jeff Risden, USA Today. So probably not a big surprise here to anybody watching. When the Lions PR department first came out and talked about or reported him signing with Detroit, they did list him as a linebacker. Then minutes later, they took that post down, relisted him as a safety. It's, in my opinion, it's just part of the chess board or chess game that's always in the NFL, and probably all sports, not just the NFL, where you're trying to keep information as in-house or in check as you can for as long as you can. But I'm going to guess that everybody out there at this point probably knows the Lions are going to mostly play him as a situational linebacker. I don't think he's going to supplant Brian Branch or Kirby Joseph anytime soon for a safety spot. Detroit has large presence in early Pro Bowl voting. Excuse me. See where the Lions rank at each position. This is from Richard Sylvia, Detroit News. So also adding to this, Detroit had the most amount of guys listed for the Pro Bowler, already in the early voting. So I think you're going to see a lot of guys from the Detroit Lions make it to the Pro Bowl. Whether or not they want to play, that's a different story, and we all get it. The Pro Bowl isn't what it was 30, 40, 50 years ago. Nowadays, it's, it has changed exponentially, and I think for the betterment of all the players. So let's go ahead and go through this real quick. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it just because I don't really put a lot of weight into the Pro Bowl stuff. But as far as people getting votes, hold on, let me find it here. As far as Lions getting votes, Frank Ragnow, Kevin Zettler, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker got some too. And you get it, probably just about everybody on the Lions, but 19 different Lions ranked in the top 10 of their positions for the Pro Bowl voting. And the Lions led the entire NFL in total Pro Bowl votes. So is it possible the Lions have a gajillion guys get out there into the Pro Bowl? I think it will, but let's go through. Jared Goff ranked number 6 in the NFC. Running backs, Gibbs was 3rd and Dave Montgomery 8. Wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown is currently number 3. Tight end, Sam Laporta, surprising because he has not had a breakout season by any stretch of the imagination. He is number 7. Offensive tackle, Penei Sewell is number 1. Not a surprise there. Taylor Decker being number 5. I know sometimes we don't give him enough praise, but he's played pretty dang well overall. He's had a couple minutes here and there, a couple snaps here and there against different teams. I remember Minnesota, he had that not so great third quarter, and then was it the Tennessee Titans? That first quarter he didn't do so well, but other than that, he's been pretty solid. He's number 5. Zettler is number 1, and remember, for the last month and a half, we've been talking about just everybody's different opinions. My opinion, man, he is perhaps the number 1 or number 2 guard in the NFL right now. And the fact that you got him fairly cheaply in free agency, and you see what's going on with Jonah Jackson, talk about a home run win for the Lions. That's probably it. Graham Glasgow comes in at number 3. Frank Ragnow, number 2. On defense, Lee McNeil is number 9. Jack Campbell, again, talking about somebody who's kind of under the radar good, number 10. Cornerback Carlton Davis III is number 7. Free safety Kirby Joseph, number 2, and strong safety Brian Branch, number 3. I was a little surprised that Kirby Joseph's so high. And, Brian Branch, I actually thought he'd be closer to number 1, but it is what it is. That's what we got there. And, hey, I think you might even see some other guys make it. All right, here's an early look at the Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions game Thursday. Jared Alexander, Romeo Dobbs, update time. TV odds by Emmett Poser, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. And sorry, I'm struggling a little bit with my voice today, but powering through it. So in regards to this, I want to bring this up just because it is from a Green Bay perspective. They talk a little bit about the matchup. Obviously, the last matchup didn't go great for Green Bay. They had some moments, but overall, I think Jordan Love's groin injury impacted that game a little bit more, along with the weather. I think anybody watching that game, though, was probably surprised. The Lions looked like they were better suited to play outdoors than the Green Bay Packers. But it appears the betting public is worried about the Detroit Lions injury problems. Lions open as 5.5 point favorites, but as a money, the line had dropped to 3.5 points. So are injuries impacting the things? Absolutely, 100%. But it doesn't mean the Lions can't overcome them. I like a lot of their signings they've had. This game between the NFC North rivals could have had even more at stake if the Chicago Bears hadn't mismanaged the clock so badly and ended up losing. Former Packers defensive end Zadarius Smith helped save the Lions from disaster. That's no mistake there. So he goes on to talk about the records all time between the teams, goes and talks about the point spread, his thoughts. He doesn't really do a huge breakdown as I was kind of hoping that they would. But ESPN is giving the Packers basically a 40% chance of winning, and he is holding that the Lions, he thinks the Lions are going to fall to the Packers this time around. So if you want to go ahead and check it out, go ahead and do just that. As you probably know, but if you don't know, the Packers are 9-3 overall at this time. All right, let's go ahead and get over to one last thing. Kind of a bonus headline now. Packers tight end looking to, quote, get my hands on Kirby Joseph. Story by Christian Boer, also of SI.com. But, I'll put it this way. I get the Kirby Joseph last year got a little bit of a bad rep. Some people remember Matt Stafford going after him, calling him a dirty player, blah, blah, blah. Well, Tucker Kraft of the Green Bay Packers wants to get physical. And, with Kirby Joseph and the Detroit Lions. He goes on to talk about Kirby Joseph, the name he's made for himself, does kind of sort of take a shot at Kirby Joseph and the Detroit Lions for some of Joseph's hits in the last year or two, especially on tight ends. But you know what? It's today's NFL. I'd say anybody who's got an issue with people tackling low, talk to the NFL and the NFL Players Association. They don't want you hitting the head anymore. They really want a limited window for where defenders can target players. And, I don't know how big Kraft is, but I'm assuming as a tight end, he's probably around 230, 240 pounds, maybe a little bit more. What do you want a 209-pound guy to do? He's not going to be able to take you up top and bring you down the vast majority of the time. So you're asking defenders to tackle what? The lower portion of your body, which unfortunately is going to impact knees and things of that sort a little bit more. So Tucker Kraft's got a beef with Kirby Joseph. He wants to get out there and get his hands on him. I'd say it's probably going to be a physical game, irregardless one way or the other. All right, with all that done and said, let's go ahead and get over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day, as you guys probably tell from the thumbnail for today's show, Ben Johnson did come out yesterday, and to be fair, MCDC did too, and kind of talked about perhaps the Lions were setting up, along with Gibbs taking that picture of the wall, etc., and saying, hey, we put that stuff out there on purpose, raised the question. So you guys thought maybe we wanted that information out there, end quote from Johnson. So now you know what they know, and question mark, and end quote. So Ben Johnson, is he being accurate? Is he being forthright? Was it a mistake? It's possible. My anticipation, just based on MCDC's response when reporters asked him, MCDC, if it was a prank or was a setup to try to get people into bad situations, his body language seemed pretty dang legit to me. He was unaware of it. Now, with that also being said, if you look at the photo itself, this is my opinion, I think there's a strong possibility it was kind of set up. So like Ben Johnson likes to set up people or teams down the road by showing you certain trick plays that he knows you're going to have to work on getting reps to try to defend later on. To me, I don't think there's a chance that any player in the NFL, let alone college, would not be aware of the information on that board behind the subject of the photo. With that being said, I would say there's, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, you guys can have a different opinion. My opinion, Ben Johnson probably got that information out there, wanted that information out there 100%. That is just my take on it. So why would it be an advantage to the Detroit Lions to have that information out there? Well, if you go on and read Ben Johnson's quotes during the story, he does talk about when he addresses this issue, they were aware in recent weeks, more and more teams, when they would call out certain pass protections or adjustments at the line of scrimmage, they seem to know what was going on. And what I'm about to only say is based on my time as a coach, for a gajillion years. You get a week or two into a schedule, a season. I don't care if it's the NFL. I don't care if it's, college football, whatever. Teams start having more and more tape on you. And yes, at the NFL level, you have 3 or 4 people. Their sole job is to rewatch those plays over and over again. They're not watching the game. They're watching the adjustments. When Goff goes to the line of scrimmage, they try to pick up what is he calling, any kind of hand signals, anything from the offensive linemen, the receivers, the tight ends. All that stuff gets broken down and analyzed. So when you hand out your weekly reports to your head coach, your coordinator, or positional coaches, they have more detailed information on what a team is trying to do. If we show this, what's their answer to that? And so in a nutshell, do I think the Lions are trying to set the Green Bay Packers up? Because even last week, Ben Johnson addresses it. The teams clearly had an idea what the Lions were doing in certain situations. You could see as soon as Goff made a call, the teams responded by doing this or that, so they knew what the call was. So when you look at that picture of the whiteboard, there's really no hugely game-changing information. There are some calls out there for line adjustments, etc. Who goes where, what do you do there? But if you now get teams questioning themselves where they think they know what's going on, but are they really going to do that? That's an advantage for you, because now you buy that half second, maybe a full second of hesitation, because they're unsure. Are you really doing this, or is it now something else? And that's where I do think Ben Johnson and the Detroit Lions offense are trying to take advantage of a situation here. I could be way wrong. Maybe it was just a massive mess up by whoever took the photo and posted it, but I don't think that's the case. I think the Lions did it intentionally, but probably did not clear it with MCDC. And, stranger things have happened. I guess that's what I'll say to you guys. All right, guys, we've got about 13 minutes until Anthony from Roared Lions UK come on over. So let's get over to you guys in the Duke Crew, and I'll do what I can here with my voice. So hopefully you guys can help me out here. All right, let me scroll up to the top of the screen. But let me ask you guys, and you guys can throw your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think this is absolute brilliance by Ben Johnson, if it's accurate that he's playing people by trying to set them up and cause hesitation from defenders, at least in the next few weeks, until people now have to reanalyze everything and figure out, are they legitimately doing this, or are they really trying to alter this to catch us off guard with something else? Or do you think that the Lions just messed up and whoever took the photo and posted it, whether it was Gibbs or whatever, do you think that it was just a mistake? Let me know in the comment section. All right, Michael D. Greatest salutations, coach and Duke Crew! Exclamation points. Superdome, Super Bowl, One Pride. Woo woo! I'll go with all the above. JDC, morning all. Back at you. Shamir, greetings, salutations, everyone. Good to see you as always, my friend. Moonscar, good morning, Duke Crew! Starting lineup! Exclamation point. Jess, greetings, salutations. Wouldn't surprise me if they did that stuff on purpose. That's where I'm going with it. I just based on the person in the photo, based on the information that's there, and also, more importantly, how about this? The information that is not there. That's my thought. Marcus Greens, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Hope you're feeling better, Dan. I'm feeling a little bit better, but my voice might sound otherwise. Shamir, did you see that Pat McAfee show? I did not get a chance to watch it yesterday, so fortunately, just with our first game of the season tonight, kind of working on some stuff. Going with today's subject, playing tricks or whatever. Sometimes as a coach, you got to do it with your own team. Like yesterday, I tried to drop the hammer a little bit on the team, try to get them ready, but also use some psychological ways to get them to reanalyze some stuff. It's part of coaching, man. It's not all X's and O's and just teaching skill work. It's trying to get your players to think about things sometimes in a different light to help them find the desired outcome. Let's see, Jason, genius setup, all part of the trickeration factor, Superdome or bust, and that's kind of where I'm at with it too. Just because you look at Ben Johnson and how much trickeration he likes to use, trying to set future teams up by showing them something here. Really, we're going to do something else there. I think it's just the evolution of that for Ben Johnson. I wouldn't be surprised at all. All right, Clark, Shamir, what happened on the show? We'll find out. Marcus, Dan Campbell says he doesn't give a bejesus. And if you're a coach, I would be disappointed if a team doesn't know your play calls. That means they're not even doing jack. Either they just think they have no chance against you. The coaching staff's kind of just resound to the fact that you're going to get beat up, or they just think they're exponentially better than you. They don't even have to worry about it. If I know early in a game if a team has or hasn't scouted us, because I'll call out 3 different plays. And if they don't have an immediate answer for that, then I go, these guys are suckers, man. They haven't done any scouting. All right, let's see. Shamir, do you think we need more pass rushers for the playoffs? Always. You can get more. Go ahead and get them. The question I would have is, who are you getting and how do you get them? If somebody's really available at this point in the season, there's got to be a couple reasons. Could be they're a veteran that says, hey, I didn't want to go through training camp the early part of the season. I want to just play for a chance to get the Super Bowl, et cetera, a deep playoff run, looking to assign themselves. Like you're seeing a lot of guys do in the last week or two. They're waiting to try to judge which team is the best fit for them and to get them that gold. So we'll have to see what happens. Trey, what's going on? All question mark. Coach, don't teams know this information already, more or less? More or less, yes. And teams do make adjustments. I won't say on a week-to-week basis, or maybe to some degree on a week-to-week, but on every, say, month or so, typically the NFL, they go through cycles. Usually what I find happens is about every 3 weeks, roughly, teams will cycle in changes to their calls, their structures, about 30% of the play sheet. So let's just say you had 10 play calls for this situation. Well, about every 3 weeks, I'm going to take 3 of those calls out. They're going to leave the call names the same, but what we're doing on the field is different to try to catch teams off guard, like I think is happening here with the Detroit Lions in the whiteboard. Big Daz, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew. Exclamation point. I say we offered J.J. Watt $10 million for the rest of the year. Let's see if he comes after it. Big Daz, sue for about $6 million. Well, maybe they'll both come out. Big Eddie Green, citations. Everyone like more pass rushers. Where do you find one this time of year? That's the tough part. It's got to be somebody who's intentionally holding out to assign themselves with a new team. Big Daz, I hope they're setting them up for something for us. Yeah, I think they are. That's my opinion. My opinion only. JDC, bottom line, the offense knows where they want to attack. The defense has to figure it out. Correct. Defense is tough because most defensive coordinators preach more reactionary styles. I'm not a fan of that, never have been. That's why I've always liked teams like the Baltimore Ravens back in the day, Pittsburgh Steelers, more assertive, aggressive. We're going to set the tone. We know what we're going to do, and you're going to have to respond to it. To me, that's the best way to play defense. But you know what? I've seen people win Super Bowls or just win, whatever conference championships doing both styles. It's more my personality to be the assertive one. All right, Matty B. Sup, Coach Dan, exclamation point. Sup, Duke crew, back at you. Big Daz, can I get a big woo for my wife? She loves it. Oh, yeah, I'll go with that. I'll give you a 1, 2, 3. And there you go. JDC, buddy loving the cheddars. JDC, Big Daz, woo! All right, Trumps, no way $6 million for Sue. We'll find out. See, Rob Greaves, salutations, Coach Dan and Duke crew. The Lions are the grooviest, Daddy-O. Yes, they are. JDC, tick, tick, tick. Yes, we've got 2 days to go until kickoff. And so whatever it is, 58 hours or something like that until we kick off. Maybe a little bit more on that. Rob and a big Duke crew, woo, to you. And same to you. Tori, give me a woo, Coach. You want to woo? I'll give you a 1, 2, 3. Lets me clear my throat if nothing else. JDC, Rob, can I just hear the bongos playing? Yes, you can. See, 70, good morning, boys, exclamation point. This is a big game for both teams. We can land almost a knockout punch the rest of the NFC North with a win on Thursday. You're not wrong. You would put a lot of pressure on everybody else because I do think it's going to be tough for Minnesota to win out across the board. I could see them losing 2 to 3 more games and potentially 1 to Green Bay, Chicago, or whatever. So if that happens, obviously that's beneficial to the Lions. You win here, it's going to make it real dang tough on both Green Bay and Minnesota to catch you, in my opinion. Rob, greetings and salutations, all due people. Back at you. Robert was the first one. Rob, this one. JDC, laughing out loud. That works too. Art, I was just thinking last night, the Lions are the only Detroit professional sports team not to make it to their big dance and win. Time to put a stop to that. I like the way you're thinking. More, what do you got? Good morning, Coach Dan and the Dooku. Nothing goes better in the morning than a great cup of coffee and a Sheila. Woo! You want a woo? I'll give you a woo. Rob, I was just thinking a swing pattern on the right symbol. Oh, there you go. Let's see. France, we need that number 1 seed slot in the NFC so Philly and Minnie face each other in the playoffs. That keeps us taking whoever is left standing. 100%, yeah. You can get them to face each other. It's not like whoever you're going to face is going to be a pushover, but I think if you can keep the other major powers on the other side of the bracket, then hey, good for you. Trumps, if they were serious about winning a Super Bowl, they would have already thrown a bag at somebody. They may have, and maybe that person just says, no, thank you, I'm good where we're at. We'll find out in time. JC, Coach, I love the pint size Pouty Packer pick on the thumbnail. Yeah, I like that. I've kept that one since the last Green Bay Detroit game and just decided to use it this time. Man Bear, good morning. Friends on Lions Talk Live, same to you. Stephanie, does anyone know who is out for this week? Not yet. My guess is we won't have any official designations until tomorrow. See, Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan and Duke Crew. I am really impressed with the Lions coaching staff this year. Woo! Yeah, I think they've done a pretty good job. Very good job. Rob JDC, sounds like an angry poet and a quote, a very salty bongo player. Okay, it could be, maybe it does. Dale, greetings and salutations, Dan Dooku. I hope you are feeling better, but I think I caught what you have. Once again, the media thinks we are finished. Detroit versus everyone. Once again, Lions 32-21. I would take that. Just win, baby. Papa, would it be wise to put out your own intelligence such as this? If you're doing it for what I think Ben Johnson's trying to achieve, yeah, it doesn't hurt because now you cause his hesitation out of the Green Bay Packers. When you call something, again, if you think teams have already figured it out, now when you call it, well, they must have changed it, right? And maybe they did, maybe they didn't. JDC, Rob, you can see I am one of each of those. Okay. Matthew, greetings, salutations. Good morning, everyone. Superdome, Super Bowl. Woo, woo, woo. Sheila likes to woo in the fresh morning dew. How about a shot of that old Mountain Dew? Back at you, my friend. Good morning. Big Daz, I received the same picture of the Lions and Packers babies. Yeah, I like that one, 100%. Quentin, greetings, salutations, everyone. Let the war games begin, I say. I like the way you're thinking. Art, Vikings are like a bad penny that keeps showing up. It might be. Let's see, Jason, Stephanie Water, who isn't out for us this week. Ugh, these injuries are getting notorious. How about that? Monogamous. All right, let's see, Rob, JDC, laughing. Dale, the whiteboard situation looks like reverse psychology situation. Mind over matter. I'll go with that. Noel Guard, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point. I don't care if they know our plays. They still need to be able to stop them, exclamation point. Lions take the pack out by 10. I'd be okay with that. And yeah, again, most teams this time of year, they've got a pretty good idea what you want to do and what you're doing in certain situations. But it could be, I could be that Ben Johnson's trying to set them up for some stuff here. JDC, I am sending a cease and desist letter to the injury gods. That would be great if you could get that done. Big Daz, does anybody watch Motor City Mania with David T. Pyle? I haven't watched him in a minute. I've reached out and tried to talk to him a couple different times to see if he'd ever want me to come on the show or if he'd ever want to come on this show. I just haven't heard back from David. So maybe someday. So I'll go ahead and call this a must-win game. I don't know if it's must-win, but it would be a big win. How about that? See, TKKK 1966. Give me a woo and a sue. How about that? 1, 2, 3. I'm powering through here. Voltron Force, Big Daz, not in a long time. Okay. JDC, I have. Okay. Pat, do we know if the new guys get in this week? Well, let's take Long Jr. off that list because he was in last week. He started last week. I think he's going to keep playing at a high level. As far as the rest of the guys, I think if you're on the defensive line, I guess you could even say Jamal Adams, you don't really have a choice. There's not many live bodies left. They're going to get in to some degree. JDC, Trace Hombres, Coach Dan, Johnny Gaz, and Mark Orm. Yeah, man, I got to reach out to Mark. I haven't had him on the show in a minute, try to get him on, but I know just because his work schedule, it's a little difficult this time of day. Dave, good morning, all. Back at you. Ronnie, just from the thumbnail, I thought this initially. If true, Dan Campbell is an evil genius. Yes, and in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, I think the Lions are totally trying to set up other teams or, again, just to try to cause some hesitation. JDC, deception is the name of the game. You're not wrong, man. If you're not setting people up, you're laying them down or helping them out. I don't know where you want to go with that. 313, I'm excited to see the new additions play. Me too, man. I want to see what they can add. Susan, I wouldn't put it past our coaching staff to try to set up other teams. Think about what Johnson does with some of the trick plays. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I was thinking. Trump's, $22,000 fine for hitting Branch with helmet. The woke mob is ruining the game. Okay. Phil, good morning. Back at you. Dale, Big Daz, I watch it. He's good at breaking down statistics. Okay, thank you. Doug, morning, Dan and crew. Looking at defensive starters to start the season, there are only 3 left. Jack Campbell, Ali McNeil, DJ Reader. Can we win with practice squad players? Well, don't forget about Carlton Davis, Tyrion Arnold, Kirby Joseph, and Brian Branch. But if you mean as far as the starting front 7, yes, you're correct. There's only 3 left. Can we win with practice squad players? To be fair, Aaron Glenn's done a pretty dang good job with all the injuries. Now, at some point, though, is it going to change? Realistically, but thankfully, the middle of the field between the safeties, Jack Campbell, and the defensive tackles, that's left unchanged. So it is, I think, taking away some of the stain, I guess you could say, of all the injuries. Kurt, what up, though? Do crew, back at you. Patrick, good morning, all. Tugs, yes, we can. It's as much to do with coaching as it does the players. Yeah, I agree with that. Especially the offense puts up a bunch of points, puts more pressure on the opposing teams. I think that helps out a lot. John, good morning. Exclamation point. When do you think Giovanni Manu will start seeing playing time, or will he ever? Probably not this year. My guess is next year, although it does seem like he's gone beyond expectations. Maybe they use him at a situational spot. I know somebody had suggested, I want to say it was yesterday, that using him as a fullback, I could see that. But would you activate him and use one of your precious 47 game day spots on a guy who's having such a limited role? I would think probably not. Rob, what up, though, Man of Steel? Back, we'll find out. We'll see what Kurt Steele has to say. Phil, out of the next 3 or 4 games, how many are possible losses? Question mark. What does the Towel of Greatness think? Coach Speak here, every game's a possible loss, just because in the NFL, I mean, look at, again, use Kansas City versus the Raiders. Raiders, 2-win team. They should have won that game. So any given Sunday, man, you just don't have your best stuff. The other team does. They have a little bit more juice in their system. You don't. You get some calls to go your way. The other team doesn't. Especially in a sport like football, man. It can really be the equalizer. Big D, yo, what up, Duke crew? What's up to you, Phil? Good morning, Mr. Steele. I'm back at you both. Kurt Steele, good. Phil, good morning. Rob, dang Dan, that cold ain't getting no better. I'm working on it though. I'm working on it. Michael, Susan Scott's Detroit Lions, they're probably the only team in the top half of the league that doesn't have to cheat to win games. I'll go with that. JDC, Dan Skipper, we need more touchdowns out of you. We'll see if he can add some. Phil, holy smokes, it's Wolfman Heck. I'll go with that. Trey, peace and salute to the chat. Get well and feel better real soon, Dan. I'm working on it, man. I mean, I'm in good spirits. How about that? Ken, good morning, Duke crew. Same to you. More, hey, coach, get some fisherman's friends at the drugstore. It'll help that new voice. Hey, man, I'm thinking about becoming a radio personality with this voice. Let's see, Mega Hustle. It could be playing possum. Dan Campbell does have Applebee's and Sam Bernstein commercial. He does, man. He could be messing with some people. And like you're saying, Mega Hustle, maybe he's working on his acting skills. Rob, you're starting to sound like Dick the Bruiser. I'll go with that. Jake N, Batman voice. Hey, man, that might be the winning comment of the day because I am a massive Batman fan. Let's see, Phil, all the hits all the time. There we go. Hey, that could be one of my taglines. Rob, Dan, you have the perfect Darth Vader voice. I'll go with that. They unfortunately with James Earl Jones no longer with us, if they need somebody to take over, I got you. Let's see, the non-laughers. Good morning, Dan and Duke crew. Let's go. One Pride. 31-13. That would be great, man, if we could win like that. The non-laughers Lions, I concur. Big D, Adam seems excited to go. Yes, he seems pretty happy to be here. And, I think most of us get it, man. As far as a safety, he's probably not going to be someone you really want out there in coverage a lot. But as a blitzing linebacker, a run-stuffing linebacker, maybe in some limited coverage out of that position, especially if they played zone. I would think he'd be okay with it, but we'll see what ultimately Aaron Glenn does with him. Good seal, Dan, DJing for the smooth jazz station with his new voice. Well, hey, you got to have new career opportunities. Phil, who is this guy with the deep voice, and what's it do, crew? Question mark. Little green men. Yeah, 100%. Hey, I'm finally hitting puberty. Huh? Walt Marks, good morning, coach and Duke crew. Woo! Back at you. Big D, definitely should let J-Mo return punts. Okay. Rob, Kurt, laughing out loud. Kristen, a long we keep finding ways to win. Yeah, just keep finding ways to win. Andy, love the Adams interview. Brad keeps adding pieces that are perfect fits. I agree with that, man. And I know we've talked about on the show for a while. I think they spend a ton of time and resources on trying to understand the personality structures of anybody they bring in-house. And I'm sure that extends to the front office, the coaching staff, not just the players. But from what I know, and which isn't a ton on him, I really like the guy. I think he understands, he's no longer the big chief on defense. He understands that he's not that guy here. So he needs to just fit in. And I really liked a lot of his answers. And he's not the only one. You could hear Long Jr. talk. They all think this is a pretty good opportunity for them. Derek, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. I like the moves Brad has made, but I like to take a game or two for these guys to have an effect. Yeah, they're going to probably ease them into this stuff. Phil, Teslas have a virus injector option in case you need some time off work. Hey, I'll take it. See, Kurt, Andy, AG making the call to him was big as well. Yes, I agree with that. Let's see, Andy, absolutely, Kurt, good call. Kristen Lyons turned into the Adams family. I see what you did there. Whoever gets us the W, yeah, whatever gets us that W, man, add them all. But they all seem like they're happy to be here and be a part of the team. Courtney, Terry and Arnold, and J-Mo, too important. Let Dorsey handle the duties with Baki. I agree with that. That's what I would do, but they don't ask me. Let's see, Phil, the DC calls you personally. You are honored. I agreed with that. Yeah, that probably speaks volumes to what they think of him. Big D, I like Ben Johnson saying, even though they know what we are doing, they can't stop it. Yeah, and again, I think they're trying to cause some hesitation out of people because most of the time it's going to be innately ingrained into a coach that now that information's out there, well, they got to be changing it. There's no way they just keep it as is. So you cause some hesitation. That's a win for your offense or defense, whatever side of the ball you're talking about. Kurt, Kristen, equals, okay. Art, Jamal Adams said he would run through a brick wall for MCDC. Yep, he's a lion. And you're hearing that from a lot of the guys. So it shows MCDC's got the command and respect of a lot of the players in the league. Big D, Baki being nice, returning. He did it in college. He did indeed. Well, hit the like button for Dan and the Duke crew. Woo! Thank you for that, by the way. Hit the like and subscribe. Kristen, no one's playing in the Pro Bowl if we get to the Super Bowl. That's also true. And just in today's day and age, man, I think they really need to find I get they keep trying with the Pro Bowl to make it relevant. I just don't know if they've found a way to do it. They used to be back in the day, whether it was Major League Baseball, the NBA, or whatever, people really took a lot of pride in it. I just think that time has passed for whatever reasons. Rob, heck, some of the trainers got Pro Bowl votes. So they probably should. Phil, it would be hilarious if the Lions use stealth tactics and mental gymnastics to win a game. Do teams do that commonly? Yes. They're going to look for every advantage you can. Everything out there you can. Kristen, strong Kurt, I don't want any Lions at the Pro Bowl, rather be in New Orleans over Orlando. I concur. Big D, Steele nailed it. 1,000%. Phil, there is one award the Lions players care about. Correct. Winning that Lombardi. Kurt, Kristen, Lions added everyone but Wednesday. Laugh it out loud. Yeah, they probably did from the Adams family, right? Michael, even if Hutch got votes and he hasn't played in months, he hasn't, man. But I think you understand, if he was in the NFL right now, it's just my guess, he'd probably have, I'll just say something like 14 sacks, maybe more, maybe a little bit less, but somewhere around there. See, JDC NFL screwed up the Pro Bowl and anything about it. Yeah, and it's not just them. I think it's all the leagues. It's just players don't view it the way they did once upon a time, and that's a multitude of reasons. We could do a show on that sometime. Phil, why isn't the Pro Bowl in Hawaii anymore? That I don't know, Philly. Kristen, right, laughing out loud. We need that quote thing that gets Sue's back. All right, could be. Rob, the bookies always want even action. The losers pay the winners, and the pockets the vigorous. There we go. Phil, Lions seem to be playing better on the road. They enjoy planting the flag on the 50-yard line. There could be a lot of different reasons. There is an emotional component. Some teams do play better on the road than they do at home. Why that is, I mean, it really comes down to a team-on-team basis. Exit 8. The only way I see our Lions winning with the defense this banged up is making it a shootout. They need to score early and often. I agree. The more the offense can add points to the board and put pressure on the opposing offense to match, that's going to help us out. We'll see how it goes in time. Motown Mitch, Lions rule, Bears rule. See what the Bears believe they are getting Ben Johnson after this year. Could be. I'm sure that there'll be a few teams that'll probably try to throw the bag at him, and I get it, man. He deserves it. All right, let me move on here. I was trying to see where Anthony was, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's just not able to come on today. We'll find out. I'll hear from him later. Phil, the game starts with field goals. I believe games are somewhat scripted. Okay, Kristen, as long as it's scripted too, the Lions Super Bowl win for once, I'd be okay with that. Rob, no, they don't. But everyone knows changes will be made to the calls. The info is now garbage. All right. Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree. I don't think it has any weight really at this point. Vernon, good morning. Hey, Coach, what do you think about getting Emmanuel Forbes Jr.? I'm surprised we haven't heard more about that, to be honest, but maybe they've considered it and for whatever reason just ruled it out. Rob, very true. High school players have this drilled into their heads. They do. You know, high school players on up. You know, and again, just using my own time as a coach, different levels, you know, college level, you 100% know everybody's going to know your play calls. And I don't care if it's volleyball, soccer, or whatever, they're going to know your tendencies. High school as well, especially high school football. If you've ever gone to a Friday night game, let me tell you, probably two teams, the next two teams you face are up there filming you, and they're in the press box. They're usually in the press box right next to the home team's press box so they can try to pick up calls a little bit better. I mean, everybody's doing what they can to get wins. Dan, good morning, Duke Crew. Exclamation point. Skip Green Bay. We'll try to skip them. Let's see if Anthony is possible that they keep all the players that they sign. At some point, as players come back, it just comes a judgment call. Who's going to help you the most? The guy that is coming back from injury, if you don't feel like they're clearly better or going to aid you more than the player you're letting go, you know, you just got to make a judgment call. Who helps you get to where you want to be the best? All right, let's see. Kristen, it was 100% a setup. The Lions love mind games, exclamation point, and the man is breaking out a new playbook. Probably. Kurt Steele, Dan, please say, show you right. There you go. Show you right. All right, Derek, now they know that we know that they know that they may not know anything. Correct. They're keeping the guessing game going. Let's see, Bobby, good morning, fam. Back at you 100%. Hopefully you're having a great day, my friend. Phil, Dan's woos are at a lower octave. With that lid on, I think the ship is in the frog. All right. It could be. Sarge, good morning. All exclamation point. BJ is brilliant, and I would not put it past him. Exclamation point. Whatever it takes to win. Lions win 27-16. You know, the one thing I would say is, and it has happened. I can remember one time. Oh gosh, who was it? I want to say it was the Indianapolis Colts. The word was they intentionally left a playbook in the Lions locker room, so the information would get out about their playbook. And it was, I'm sure, shared with other teams, you know, trying to exchange, hey, we'll give you this if you give us that. And it was during the Manning time in Indianapolis. It was a fake playbook. It came out, I think, after the season that the Colts did it intentionally to try to get misinformation to the what do you call the names? The New England Patriots. So teams, you know, it's not unheard of for teams to try to lead you astray by leaving bad information around. Miles Barker, I don't think so, Coach. Now, while it's funny to think, but no, I don't buy it. Why would they do that to Gibbs? I think Gibbs it could be. I'm not saying he didn't. I just think the longer I've coached, the more I've been around different leagues and sports. Like I was just saying, it is possible, and two teams have in the past that I know leave misinformation out there to try to leave you astray. Kristen, how Gibbs grew up, there's no way he made a mistake like this unless it was a BB mind game. Could be indeed. Darren, do you think Sue will come to the Lions? If the Lions, bring it or have brought him in, maybe they have brought him in or will bring him in to kick the tires on him, put him through workouts. If they feel like he can legitimately help, do I think they try to get him? Yes. But that's also going to be true with any free agent out there right now, especially if the Lions should encounter more injuries. But whether or not Sue has that left in the tank, I don't know, just because I haven't seen him play in a couple of years. Ryan, Lions win again from trick plays to trick whiteboard. I'm down with that. Phil, I would love a coach win against Green Bay, outsmart them, make them look like fools. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Bobby, do you think all these moves will help us down the stretch? Yes, I do. Some of them. I do think some of them, like Long Jr., I think he's definitely going to help. I really like what we saw on him last week and the week prior. As far as Kewan Alexander, wait until we see him out on the field for the Lions. Is the same with Jamal Adams. But both of them, plus the defensive tackle Adams and Williams, the defensive end from the Rams, all of them, I think, have some possibilities. Now, are any of them going to start? Long Jr., I think, starts probably for the foreseeable future. I don't see him coming off the field. He's just too good. Kewan Alexander, I think he's got some real potential too. Maybe not every down player, but I think, first down, second down, he can get out there, and then maybe he gets replaced by Jamal Adams on second or third downs because probably Adams is going to be a little bit better in coverage. JDC, smoke the cheddars like a good doobie. We might just do that. Phil, as a coach, how is Green Bay preparing for the Lions? If I was them, I'm going to do everything I can to keep the Lions offense off the field. So I want a ball control game. And they did this the first time we played them. I want to say their first drive of the game lasted like 7 or 8 minutes. And that does put some stress, especially if they score. Green Bay's biggest problem, in my opinion, that first game was just all self-imposed. They just, they didn't complete a lot of passes, high percentage of passes, and then allowed the Lions to control the game. Think about Thanksgiving. Lions controlled that entire first half. Second half, it kind of flip-flopped. And it's just, you can't settle for field goals. You got to go for touchdowns. Lions get the ball to control the clock. They keep their defense off the field so it's less exposed. And they score touchdowns, you're going to put more and more pressure on Jordan Love and that Packers offense. And to be fair, this season, Jordan Love, he's played pretty good. He's also turned the ball over a lot. Mike 505, good morning, Coach. What's your prediction for the rest of the Lions games? You have to stay tuned to Lions Talk Live. Tomorrow, we'll give out the breakdown of the Green Bay game and the score prediction. But we'll deal with that tomorrow and then obviously on a week-to-week basis, Mike. Lauren, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Back at you. Lawrence, good morning. Same to you, my friend. Hopefully it's a great morning. Bill, I would like to know if the Chicago player is going to face penalties for tripping J-Mo and spitting on him. Question mark. I haven't heard a peep from national media. To be fair, Bill, I haven't heard anything from the Bears, the NFL, or anything about it. The NFL has security teams that review all game tapes. I have no doubt the Lions have probably pointed it out to them in case they didn't know about it. And my anticipation would be that something will be done. Whether or not it's hugely publicized, I don't know. Kim, would even be more sneaky if they had J-Mo post the pic. He's the bad boy right now. You're not wrong. That might add more credence to it in that case. Kurt, see, Kim, they put a practice squad player in the pic. It's clear to tell. Yes, 100%. Lawrence, can't wait to see where we are on defense tomorrow night. Yeah, I can't wait to see come Thursday night what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Kristen, Thursday grind time, 100%. Chuck E. Cheese, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Can't get a woo woo. All right, you don't want one? I won't give it to you. But I think you mean, can I get one? So I'll give you 1, 2, 3. And there you go. Lawrence, pick up the phone, call Apple, Baum, and Stoney to play on defense? Maybe. Phil, I'm going to keep calling Sarge until he gets his butt off bed and joins the show. You keep on him. Keep on him indeed. Rob, I don't think it was leaked intentionally to set up the Packers' butt. It's an easy enough fix and can backfire if the Packers try to use it. I'll go with that. JDC, tick, 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 Sarge. Kristen, Joseph for a pick or two. St. Brown also for a TD or two. I'm calling it. I like the way you're calling. David Vaki on returns. Yeah, that's probably where I would go. Phil, need a program for the players and the jersey numbers they are going into fractions. 33.5, etc. You're not wrong, man. We're going through some jerseys. JDC Magic 8 Ball says Lions 43, Cheddar's 31. Dominic, good morning from Texas. T-Bone Lokes, CBS published the article that detailed the top practice squad player from each team. There was at least 4 edge rushers listed. We'll see if we'll go after some of them. John, JMO 3 touchdowns Thursday. I would love that, man. Let's see, David. Good morning, Coach! Exclamation point. Getting well. I'm feeling better and better. But thanks, guys. Thank you very much for that. Steve, new subscriber here, enjoying the show. Glad you like it, Steve. Welcome to the Do Crew. David Adams will get his second win here in Detroit. Let's hope so. Vaki on return, says David. I like that. JDC, Steve, welcome. Have fun and have fun indeed with it. Alrighty, those who say the Lions won't get the number 1 seed, the Eagles are better, the Vikings will win the North, we are buried in injuries. Quote, when you start to doubt, you have already lost. That might be true. And end quote, Hardy. Okay, welcome to the Do Crew, Steve. I like that. Yeah, invite them all in. Rob, Dan, where's your mask? Where's your mask? I hope we don't all get sick. Let's hope not, man. Hopefully this thing can't transport through YouTube. JDC, Motor City Duke Crew, Moonscar, missed the first half hour. Hate when work gets in the way of Lions Talk Live in the morning. Man, you gotta get a new job or a more interesting boss, more interested in being a part of the Duke Crew. Moonscar, I thought I saw something about us signing yet another DB yesterday that was addressed in the 5 headlines now. There was someone from I don't remember. It was a safety, but I didn't put it in the 5 headlines. No. Let's see. Lincoln Clay VR. Don't forget the Lions supposedly use blue in the zone walls to confuse Stafford. That's true. The brilliant minds of the Lions are always looking for a one-up scenario. Great Lakes, good morning, Coach. Hope you're feeling better. Sick myself. Nothing panned out on that former Buccaneer, Kevin Merriweather. That I don't know offhand. So I'll look into it, Great Lakes. Amy K was at that 56-yard field goal from Jake Bates at the Colts game was freaking awesome. Love it, 100%. And good morning to you. Sarge, if the offense stays on the field, the D. Okay. JDC, Moonscar Blade. Yep, the 4-letter word work. I miss Wednesday and Thursday. Shows because I said work. Okay. Sarge, the pressure is off them. The pressure is off them indeed. All right, Sarge, the defense. Okay. Amy K. I got it. Sorry, that popped up twice. Let's see, Great Lakes. I see a high-scoring affair. Jakes is playing out of his mind in dry conditions. This will be a shootout. Might be just that. It might be indeed. Moonscar, who is that Merriweather? Yes, he's a safety. He's been in the league for a little bit. Does anybody fall on the, quote, fake playbook trick that made Brady Bunch episode on that one? Might be. Randy, come on, Dan. Do the... I am your father. How about that? There you go, Randy. Okay, to top of the morning, Miles Barker. Lawrence, eating frosting flakes while the Lions smash the pack. I'm down with that. That would be good for me. Michael, Amy K. It's a 58-yard field goal from Legatron, that Colts game. Okay. JDC, happy trails. Go Lions. Victory. Shoveling snow. Enjoy it, my friend. Have a good day. Even better, 58. Miles Marco, back at you, Hookadoo. Let's see, Great Lakes. I sent him a text yesterday morning about Merriweather. Just jumping in today, missing. I didn't mention anything about him. So the Lions did add him. Yes, correct. It's just I haven't done anything in the segment about it. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I'm under the weather. I was also listening today, Miles Barker, hope you feel better soon, bro. Hookadoo. Let's see, JK, no such thing as a trap game, but this is such a thing as a choke game. Let's hope the Green Bay Packers choke then. Dr. Troy, who do we see return of Dan Gamble? I think so. Yeah, he might do it a little bit more. We'll see. We'll see, Dr. Detroit. Michael, yep, it would be good for at least 70 yards. Yeah, he's got a heck of a leg. I don't think anybody in the Lions fandom questions that. Joseph, today is my birthday. Can I get a boo 58-year-old? How about a woo? I'll give you a woo. How about a 1, 2, 3? And happy birthday, my friend. MEK will be at home with all the Lions fans this Thursday and with throwing off the Packers with the plays. We got this game. I like it. Let's get this game. Moonscar, Coach Dan, do you need to rest that voice you're yelling to do tonight? Yes, I will, man. Might be doing it a little bit more softly, though. Miles Barker, I'm with you on that, Rob Newsom. Okay. Phil, prayer for your players to stay healthy. 100%. And thanks for that. Thank you for that, Phil. Kurt Steele, the Lions just need Mountain Dew to power up. I like the way you're thinking. Rob, you can't get sick from a computer virus. Let's hope not. Great Lakes, like button. Yes, if you guys can, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Phil, Dan, say, Luke, I am your father. How about that? Is that better? Luke, I am your father. DM5, ready for Thursday. Hopefully more of the same. Lions 31, Packers 28. Get well soon, Dan. Go Lions. Let's get it. Philippines, are you concerned about the game with the Packers? Are you not as much as you can be for any game? Because really this time of year, the margin between first place, second place, third place in the NFC is going to be pretty razor thin. JK laughing out loud, FTP. Okay. Derek, good luck tonight, coach. You can't win them all unless you finish the first one. I like that. And the kids know we talked about it yesterday, getting ready. I look at it this way right now. We're 0-23 until you earn a win. Then you can be 1-22. Joseph, thanks. Rob, the longest field goal in the NFL were against the Lions. Bates setting that record, and the Lions Super Bowl victory would be justice. I'm down with that. Paul, Lions by 10 versus Packers Thursday. I'd be okay with that. Philippines on demand, the players we brought in. Do you think it's too soon to play the guys we recently signed? Some of them, yes. Others, maybe no. The good part with most of them is they're pretty veteran players. It shouldn't take a lot of time to bring them up to speed. I think you're going to see them mostly be rotational guys this week, get a couple snaps here and there. I won't be surprised to see Adams in there in some situations. Is he going to play 50% of the snaps? No, but can he give you 20 to 30%? That's where I think he can. And same with the rest of the guys. I'm just using him as an example. Let's see. Famous RW, Greens Sanitation's coach and crew. Imagine this team when it's all healthy. You know, we get to week 17 and 18. That's where I think things start getting pretty interesting for the Detroit Lions. Because you're going to have a lot of the guys back. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. Walt, good morning, coach and Duke crew. Woo! Back at you. DM5 TV. I still believe with all the injuries and adversity, Lions win a Super Bowl is easy. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Amy K, love to see a blowout game on Thursday, just like the Cowboys and Jaguars game. Man, if we could make that happen, that would be phenomenal. Phil, Mosley, Nickelback, maybe. He might be. Philippines, I'm worried about this game because of the injuries. Yeah, it's understandable, man. The injuries are going to be in most people's minds, but trust in the coaching staff and Aaron Glenn to overcome the adversity. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, start resting my voice, and get on to the workday. If you guys do me a favor, if you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, if you'll be so kind, hit that thumbs up button, that like button. Other than that, if you guys can, be a good human being, do something kind for someone you don't know, and we'll see you guys all on the next Lions Talk Live. Yes, if there's breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. See you guys.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?